FIR has been registered against 23 people in a case of being involved in falsely changing government land records. According to this complaint, the story goes all the way back to 2020, so 2 years ago. The land belonged to a temple. It was then changed into land for a graveyard. Police are investigating the case. No arrests have been made so far. Very quickly, we want to walk you through reactions to this story. Then we'll connect with my colleague who is on the ground right now.
थाना कोशीकला के ग्राम शाहपुर में एक धार्मिक स्थल को तोड़कर कतिपय लोगों द्वारा निर्माण किए जाने एवं इस भूमि से संबंधित अभिलेखों में फर्जी तरीके से फेरबदल कर इंदराज किए जाने की सूचना प्राप्त हुई थी। इस सूचना पर जांच की गई। जांच में प्रकरण को सही पाया गया। तदनुसार अभियोग पंजीकृत करा दिया गया है। इस प्रकरण में विस्तृत जांच करते हुए साक्ष्य संकलन किया जाएगा। साक्ष्य के आधार पर दोषी व्यक्तियों के खिलाफ कठोर विधिक कार्रवाई सुनिश्चित की जाएगी।
हमारा धर्म रक्षा संघ और वहाँ का स्थानीय हिंदू समाज बहुत दिनों से विरोध भी कर रहा था, मगर प्रशासनिक लापरवाही के चलते अभी तक कोई ठोस कार्रवाई नहीं हो पाई थी। अब जाकर हमको ये एक राहत मिली है कि कम से कम उन अपराधियों के खिलाफ जिन्होंने हमारे हिंदू समाज के बिहारी जी के मंदिर की ज़मीन पर और मजार बनाने की जो धृष्टता करी है, जो दुस्साहस किया है, उनके खिलाफ अब रिपोर्ट दर्ज कर ली गई है। हमें पूरी उम्मीद है कि बहुत जल्दी कानूनी कार्रवाई होगी और वो स्थान हमें हिंदुओं को वापस मिलेगा और हम वहाँ पर भव्य और दिव्य बिहारी जी का मंदिर बनाएंगे, ऐसी हमें पूरी उम्मीद।
All right, my colleague Anshul is with us live right now from Mathura to bring us more updates on this story. Good morning, Anshul. For our audiences, 2 questions to you. Could you bring us more context on this story? Tell us about exactly what took place 2 years ago. Then tell us about the investigations. And then, Anshul, it's very important to ask you, do we have any response that's come in from those who built the graveyard? Do tell us.
So yes, keeping all the things in perspective, it was initially in 2020 when I'll just try and show you the visuals. This is said to be the 800-year-old temple. All this is said to be 800-year-old temple that was constructed over here. This is what the villagers over here, the locals over here claim. And it is being said that this mazar that was built on top was built over here in 2020. Now, when this mazar was being built over here, when the bulldozers came over here, the villagers then reacted to it. And in their reaction, when they tried to find out, because they claimed that this land belonged to them, this land actually belonged to the temple. And when the mazar was built over here, they actually tried to get in touch with the administration and try to find out why was this mazar being allowed to build over here. And when they got in touch when they finally got in touch with the administration, they found out that it was actually in 2004 when the Samajwadi Party government was in power over here in Uttar Pradesh, in Mathura. One of the workers of the Samajwadi Party actually helped in the corruption and actually helped in forging government documents. And according to those documents, the land that was given to the temple was converted into the land of graveyard. And I'll also try and show you some few other constructions that have happened over here. In approximately 2019, initially the first time when the administration came over here to construct, there was a well. It is being said over here that there was a well over here in the courtyard of the temple, and this well was broken down by the bulldozer. These pillars were erected over here. These pillars were being erected because it was said that this was actually a that a graveyard used to happen over here, and hence the land belongs to a graveyard. So yes, when in 2020 and 2019, when all these constructions started to happen, the villagers then got angry, and when they contacted the local administration over here, why all this is being allowed to happen, they found out that it was actually in 2004 that the records were faked in 2004 when the Samajwadi Party government was in power, and one of the workers of the Samajwadi Party actually helped in forging those documents and making sure that this land that belonged to a temple was converted into a graveyard in the government records. However, in 2020, when all the investigations started to happen as to how the forging of the land that was over here happened in 2020, it was then found out that the Shia Waqf Board, in fact, just a few days ago, let me tell you that the Shia Waqf Board just a few days ago came out and told that this land does not belong to them. And after the Shia Waqf Board letter that came to the administration that this land, Sunni Waqf Board, came out and said that this land doesn't belong to them, and the complaint was then given to the local administration over here, the DM over here. The DM then sent a letter to the rural SP to actually carry out investigation in this, and in that investigation the rural SP found out that there was actually forging of documents that happened over here approximately 18 years ago, and hence an FIR has been registered by them on the 9th of July, and the investigation is going on currently. Now in that FIR, 23 people have been named. 7 of them were Muslims who actually tried to build the mazar over here, and the rest are the government officials who were actually involved in forging the documents back in 2004. These includes the local Lekpal as well as the local ADM who actually gave out the orders that there should be there is a mazar over here, and this land actually belongs to a graveyard. So FIR has been as of now filed against 23 people, including Monu Khan, who is being said to be the main accused in this whole case. It is being said that he was the Samajwadi Party leader who was actually involved in forging the documents over here. And after this FIR has been filed, the police is now saying that they are carrying on with their investigation. But yes, if this construction wouldn't have happened, if the bulldozers wouldn't have come over here, Toya, people wouldn't have actually known that this land, the characteristics of this land had actually been changed from a temple to a graveyard. So yes, when in 2019 and 2020 the construction started to happen over here by the Muslim side, the locals protested over here, and when the locals started protesting, they actually found out that the ownership of the land had been transferred to Muslims in government records. However, when more and more investigation went into the whole case, and the Sunni Waqf Board was also taken into the custody, because each and every graveyard in the whole state of UP has to be registered with the Sunni Waqf Board. So when the Sunni Waqf Board was contacted that if this graveyard is a property of the Sunni Waqf Board and is the property of the Muslims, they finally came out just a few months ago, I think in May of this year itself, they came out and said that this land doesn't belong to the Sunni Waqf Board, and hence whatever the government seems to do with this land, they can do with it. And since then, the people have been running from pillar to post just to get their FIR registered, and on the 9th of July, the FIR has been registered and the investigation is going on. However, no arrests have been made till now, but yes, the police is saying that they are investigating the whole case in a good in a very fast-paced manner. Now it remains to be seen as to when the investigation will, when the arrest will take place. However, when you talk to the other side, when you talk to the Muslim side, they say that they believe that this was actually a graveyard, and they do not have, although they do not have any documents to prove that this was actually a graveyard, but they say that this is their belief that there was a graveyard over here, and hence they have built this mazar over here. So yes, the documents, the government documents that have come to the fore all point out towards one fact, that yes, there was corruption that happened, there was forging of documents that happened over here in 2004, and the whole plot of land, which is approximately 0.36 hectare of land that belongs to the temple area, that area of land had been changed to being a graveyard by corruption in 2004 in the Land and Revenue Department. And now, since that FIR has been registered, it remains to be seen as to how long will the police take to finally get to the final conclusion of this whole case, Toya.
Anshul, thank you for those details. We'll try to connect with you in a little while again to understand how the people responsible for building the graveyard have responded to this story. Right now, it's time for a short break. On the other side, we continue to bring you, our viewers, all of the country's top stories at this moment. We'll see you in just a second.